I want to be examining the adjacent possible.
Sure.
You know, if I'm exporting this, what's nearby in an economically relevant sense that I can also do?
Right.
And what are the capabilities I lack to do that? And a diagnostic can help you with
Let me be
that.
presumptuous and add a dimension to that.
Okay.
For India in particular, is what can I do at scale? Because India is this funny, we have revealed comparative advantage in a whole range of industries, including very complex ones. We export many different things, but it's one company doing the export. It's tiny in scale, right? So at scale, you have to be doing that in a way that is competitive at the ecosystem level.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's hugely important. I do think India is very different than most other countries in the sense that you're exactly right. If you look at India on Hausman's measures, it has enormously complex exports relative to its GDP. Now, in some ways, that's good news because in Hausman's model, that predicts future high growth for India as they expand. But it also might be a little worrisome that this apparent complexity is happening because we're doing a tiny little bit of export of that and a tiny little bit of export of that, and we have one firm that's embedded with some pharmaceutical doing one bit of that, and expanding the array of firms within the economy that can also expand into that market is a concern. So it's, you know, ready-made garments, and I'm using ready-made garments because your neighbor next door, Bangladesh, has obviously ridden ready-made garments up, but by the way, appears to have ridden it to its
unhappy.
It's unhappy.
The story is not over, I guess.
No, I mean, the story is not over, but it's sort of like, it's a classic story. I mean, I'm using it because it's a classic story. Is we discover a new industry, a few firms can do it, the ability, you know, there's lots of case studies written already of the Bangladesh ready-made garment industry. It expands, you know, those capabilities expand in the ways that Alfred Marshall described as being in the air in an industry town, and therefore they get on this growth trajectory. And it's easy right here in the steepest part of the S to think, whoa, Bangladesh miracle, we're done. And it's like, no. I mean, that's going to hit, it's going to hit a limit. You know, the world isn't infinitely elastic with respect to absorbing Bangladesh ready-made garments. And, you know, you can pay so much attention to, you know, feeding the needs of that one industry, you fail to develop others. Whereas India kind of has the opposite problem. Is it has lots of, you know, I'm just making up a metaphor on the spot, but, you know, they use the metaphor of unicorns as, you know, relatively large new firms. It has lots of Shetland ponies. You know, it has lots of firms that are doing amazing things relative, super high capability things, but in a small-ish way relative to either the size of India and India's export needs or the world. So,
no, that's absolutely true. And I guess the general thing to get to is that you need to use success in any one area at scale to prepare the ground for other people to succeed at scale also.
Exactly. And this is, you know, this is really hard because the natural propensity and the understandable propensity of firms is they want to be the success, and they don't necessarily, you know, no firm is really that interested in creating the preconditions for other firms to enter their industry.